at home. So I was going to lead us through a very gentle class today, maybe more along the lines of yin yoga. And here's my best friend. Okay. Let's relax and breathe to start class. Let the breath flow in and out. And just really slow things down. Slow things down. Welcome yourself to your practice, to your body, to your mind, to your mat. And just take some really nice, steady breaths. If you would like, you can close your eyes. And begin to clear your mind of distractions. So as we come to our practice today, just noticing what's going on, observing and letting go. And just let the breath be nice and steady. Relax the shoulders down your back. Feel your seat bones rooting into your support and lift the crown of your head. Fill that body up with breath. Expand the whole torso with breath from hips to shoulders. And we'll do our best to keep this nice consistent breath throughout our class together. We'll stay a little while longer. If you'd like to set an intention, now might be a good time to do that. Excuse me. We'll take just a few more steady breaths. Okay, we'll slowly wake ourselves up from this nice and restful state. Maybe blinking the eyes open if they were closed. And we're just going to interlace our fingers in our lap for a moment. Taking Venus lock, they call it. Letting the arms be heavy. And I ended up closing my eyes again. You can join me if you want. And we'll slowly just take those hands up and back behind your head, tuck them in, and then lean back and lift up for a nice gentle opening and lift through the back of the arms. Please stop, thank you. And then as we exhale, we're going to take our hands all the way out to the sides. Palms can face the front of, or just the direction that you're facing. Palms nice and big open, and see if you can pull the palms to touch behind you, or the backs of the hands to touch behind you, I should say. So it's a really big heart opener, just kind of this big opening. Maybe the palms even rotate upwards. And then we're going to make thumbs up, and then point your thumbs all the way down, and then take your fists to touch behind your back. So now your thumbs are pointing upwards. And we'll just stay here for a little bit. You may be able to touch those thumbs together. The knuckles are pressing into each other. And some of us may be able to actually create prayer hands going up our back. I'm not able to do that, but you can always try if you want to try working those fingertips towards the upper back and the heels of the hands pressed together. And maybe you just kind of want to practice doing it or not. And we'll just stay here for a little bit longer, getting a really beautiful inner rotation through the shoulder joints. We can focus on pulling our belly button in towards the wrists, the backs of the hands, and then also pressing the back of the hands gently into our low back. All right, awesome. Gently release, release all the way down. Take your hands to the floor or in your lap or on the legs. And we're just going to shrug the shoulders a few times. One way. And then the other way. Okay, and then we'll just take our head from side to side. Chin down and up. If you want to make a big circle, make a big circle. One way. And then the other way. Okay. And then we'll find a nice neutral chin. Last arm stretch here in this easy pose, Siddhasana. We're going to interlace our fingers behind our back again and press the hands away from us. So interlace the fingers again. We did that already, but they were behind our back. See if you can do this while they're behind you, and then press the hands down and away from you. You may even be able to look up. And I'm actually kind of resting on my hands now. I put them behind me and I'm using them sort of like a little, just a little stand. And that feels pretty good to me. And I'm definitely crooked, but I hope you guys aren't. And if you are, that's okay. All right, let's pull ourselves very gently forward. Ooh. And we'll change the cross of our legs for a little fold forward, a little bow. So cross the legs and then drop all the way down as far as you can or want to go. This is when our props come in really big handy. You could put, you could put a stool in front of you, or you could use your hands. But loosening up through the legs Let's stay just a little bit longer. Okay, when you're ready, we'll just slowly, very slowly push ourselves away from the floor and back up. Take a moment to really feel that tall spine. Big breath in and out. All right, let us extend our right leg long and pull your left heel in towards the right thigh. You may be feeling a stretch already, depending on how tight we are today, but we'll just rotate the ankle and wiggle the toes. And then we'll take a twist over towards this left knee, right hand to left knee, gaze over the left shoulder. We'll take 3 more breaths. And inhale back to center. And we'll fold over our right leg now. So taking a nice fold forward, maybe leading with our hearts and keeping a long spine. Of course, you can kind of do the bow and hang, which sometimes feels amazing. And other times we really want that nice long pull, which is a little bit harder, takes a little bit more effort. Up to you what we're feeling up for today. I'm feeling up for a bow and a surrender, but I'm gonna try and keep my spine long because it's important for my very, very curvy spine, very crooked spine. And I'm really bracing myself. I'm using my arms to brace and pull. But once again, it all depends on which version you're doing. We'll take a few more big breaths here. Okay, and we'll lift our heart up. Slowly come into a seated posture. And twisting back to center, feeling that tall spine out. And we're just going to take our left hand behind us and reach that right arm up away from the right toes. And we get a nice opening through the right side body and the right hip flexor a little bit. Right side body, definitely, shoulder. And then for good measure, we're going to take another fold over the right leg, just another bow. Just another bow. Maybe we reach a little bit farther. And back on up. Nice big inhale. And one more twist to the left. So just doing it twice today. And inhale to center. Awesome. Okay, we'll change our legs. Taking the left leg out, the right heel in. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I don't make you yawn. And we'll lead with our heart. Well, first we'll rotate our ankle and toes. Man, I should have had some coffee before this or some tea. Rotate the ankle, wiggle the toes. And then we'll lead with our heart as we fold over the left leg. Once again, we can be a big old crescent moon, or we can lead with our hearts and pull ourselves really long and far. A few more breaths. Okay, let's lift ourselves back up. Press the leg down to get yourself there. And we'll take a twist now to the right knee. And we'll inhale to center. We'll take that right hand right next to us and reach the left arm away from the left foot. And side body stretch. Okay, and then we'll lift ourselves up, and for good measure, one more head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana. And back on up. One more twist to the right knee. Beautiful. And inhale to center. Big breath in and out. Okay, let's make our way into child's pose. Let's take a child's pose. I'm going to do knees wide at first. And we can take our head down to our hands or the floor. Relax the head and the hips. We'll take a few more nice long breaths here. Okay, and when you're ready, we're going to pull ourselves forward into Sphinx pose. So onto the elbows. And the hips are down. The feet should be able to press down firmly. So find that comfy spot that makes you feel like you can really press through the elbows and the hips and the knees and the feet. And feel that elongation of the neck as we press down with the elbows. And we'll just gaze over the right shoulder, look at the right foot. Gaze over the left shoulder, look at the left foot. And back to center. Big breath in and out. Feel that belly expand and press into the floor. And we'll push ourselves back into a child's pose. So you can take your hands to the floor and just push yourself back. You can try knees together this time or knees apart, whichever you didn't do last time. And we'll hang out here for a few more breaths. Okay, let us sit on our heels for hero's pose. Now the spine is even more so supported. And we can have the nice S curve of the spine, the one that you want to have, the good curve. And we'll interlace our fingers behind our back, lean back, look up. Maybe you interlace your fingers the weird way. One more, leaning back, looking up. And gently release. Keep your hands interlaced and then take both of your hands to one side of the body. And you'll notice a stretch on the opposite shoulder. And we'll stay here for a little bit. Okay, other side, take both hands to the other side of the body. And now I'm feeling a stretch in this shoulder. And gently release. We'll stand up on our knees. Knees walk underneath you. We can have them hip width apart so we feel nice and sturdy. Might take a second, hands on the hips. And we'll take our right leg and extend it out to the side. You can have your foot so that the toes are pointed forward. And then just with a straight leg, and see if you can settle into that right hip. Getting comfy here for a moment. Big breath in and out, catch your balance, find your strength. And then we're just gonna come down onto our hands. So it's like we're in tabletop, but with our right leg extended. And let's do a few cat-cows here. So cat-cows, and it might feel, and it will be asymmetrical. You might feel a lot more action happening in the right hip. And then slowly stop, find a flat back. And then we're gonna take our left arm up, reach the left arm up, and then exhale, reach it underneath you. Don't touch to the floor yet. We'll just do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach underneath you, exhale. Inhale, reach underneath you, exhale, drop it down. So we're in thread the needle in a rather unique version. I use my right hand for support. Now I'm feeling like, all right, we'll take that left arm all the way back up and come back to tabletop. So I think we're gonna do a shoulder stretch with each arm and each time our leg is out, because I'm not sure which one feels right now that we're doing it together. So we'll do the same thing with the right arm and our right leg out. So inhale up, exhale, reach, inhale up, exhale, reach. One more, inhale up, exhale, drop it down. And take it all the way down. The left hand supports you now. And we'll slowly come out of it. Yeah, so for some reason, I'm not sure which arm you're supposed to do. I'm sorry. All right, bring that right leg down. Take a breath in and out. And then we'll come on back up to stand and extend that left leg out to the side. The toes can be pointing forward. Catch your balance. And then we'll come down onto our hands. Notice that opening through the hip. We'll take a couple cat-cows. I'm seeing something.
Sorry, that last one did not feel good.
You know what? I think you're right. You are so right. Thank you for chiming in, and that's, yeah. So we'll skip the left arm on this side. Thank you for that feedback. Just a couple of cat-cows. And a flat back. Okay, so we want to do the left arm. Inhale. Oh wait, no, we want to do the right arm. I'm all turned around today. Inhale the right arm up, exhale, thread. Inhale up, exhale, thread. Last one, inhale up, exhale, thread, and drop. So hopefully this feels pretty good to us. And we'll just try and get as much support as we can. We might be a little bit further away from the floor. Okay, and then we'll come on back up to table. I'll leave it up to you if you want to do it the other way. If you're like, oh, I feel unbalanced now. Let's see if you want to do it the other way. If not, just come to child's pose. Yeah, I don't know if this is normal. But what in yoga is normal anyway? So we'll tuck that knee in and take a child's pose. And let it go. You might want to take your hands towards the feet, maybe inside the legs, and that has this awesome shrug happen in the shoulders, which feels really great. They should call this one Sleeping Baby. We'll take a few more breaths. And as much as I don't really want to come out of that, let's pull ourselves up and out. Curl the toes under behind you, and we'll take a little toe squat. So the toes curl, and then see if you can, we can either lift the knees up or just sit on the heels. So you can do this, or you can see if you want to balance on the toes, just doing what feels good today, what feels right. maybe we start in toe squat and then we drop the knees for a moment. This might actually be more of an intense stretch through the toes. And we'll hold for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Okay, we'll take our fists to the floor and stamp our feet down for goddess squat. So walk one foot up and then the other, and then take a little squat. See if you can work the elbows inside the knees and lift the heart up. Okay, and then we'll take our hands to the floor in front of us and then walk the feet back for down dog. This might be one of 2 down dogs, at the most 2. And it's just a great opportunity to pedal those feet, stretch deeply the back of the legs, getting that awesome sensation that most of us yogis have come to love. Lifting the belly and pressing the heart towards the heels, towards the ankles. And we'll step forward, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, release the head and arms, let yourself be heavy. Maybe shake the head yes and no. Once again, such an amazing pose for a lot of sensation. Down the back of the legs, the head gets heavy, the spine lengthens and pulls. And we'll bend the knees, reach the arms up, look up, upward salute. Exhale the hands through to prayer, steady standing. Take a moment here to be vertical, to just feel this out, letting the breath and blood flow. Maybe rocking back and forth on the feet a little bit. Maybe pressing the toes into the floor as we stretch the front of the ankles. All right, and then we'll find a nice steady mountain pose once again. Bend the knees, reach the arms up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. So here's the last one. Downward facing dog. Press the shoulders towards the feet. Enjoy it for maybe 5 long breaths. Pressing down through all 5 fingers, the entire palm of the hand. Inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, slowly lower, hit the deck. Let's take a moment on our belly. Take your hands towards the feet. Let the shoulders slump forward. Feel the compression of the floor on your chest. So feel that pressure. I quite like that pressure, but we can breathe into our back to oppose it, to respond to it. Okay, and then your other cheek can come to the mat, nice and slow. All right, let's come off of our faces. Press yourself out of that posture and come to sit down with your legs in front of you. Take a moment in what is called staff pose or dandasana. And we can pull the toes back to start engaging the leg bones so that the leg bones are pulling up and in to the hip sockets. And then once you feel like you've got a good hold on things, you can relax the feet. Ideally, our legs will be straight, but there might be a slight bend there. And that's totally fine. Okay, let's hug our right knee up and in, and then take that right foot and place it on the other side of the left leg. And then we'll take a twist. So you can wrap your arm around your leg and just gaze. Gaze and breathe. And we'll inhale to center. And take that right leg back down. Take a moment in staff pose. See if you can lift your heart even higher. And then we'll take our left foot, pull it in. And then take that left foot to the other side of us. Tall spine. And we can wrap our arm around our leg and gaze over the left shoulder. And we'll inhale to center. And take that left leg back down in front of you. Find staff pose, Dandasana. All right, so we can take a forward fold here. Seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. I'm going to take my feet a little bit wider so there's a little bit room for my body in the middle of my legs. And my preference a lot of the times is to take my 2 peace fingers and wrap them around my big toes, and then I can hook and pull. Of course, if there's a favorite way that you like to do this, go for it. If you have a strap that you can take around the feet and grab onto the sides to pull, this is also really helpful. And then, yeah, some of us may want to do a crescent moon dive, which sometimes feels really good too. But for sake of lengthening our spine and my spine, I'm going to practice this way today. And you're just going to pull and lengthen. And we'll stay for several breaths. The big toe and fingers really are working together to hook each other and pull. And they're nice and strong. And as we feel our spine lengthen a little bit and get more comfortable, we may be able to straighten our legs a little bit more or bring them closer together and then pull again. Let's take 3 more breaths. Okay, let's come on up. Nice and slow. Release and lift. And we'll bring soles of the feet together, knees apart. We'll lead with our heart for a seated bound angle, forward fold, leading with the heart. I like to interlace my fingers and then wrap them around my toes and pull. That can be pretty comfortable, but whatever works for you. Okay, and then we'll slowly lift our chin and come on back up. Then we'll make our way down onto our back, nice and slow, beautiful. We'll really slow things down. That wasn't quite as much of a yin class that I was initially planning, but sometimes you just never know what's going to happen. Even me, surprisingly enough. Take our knees from left to right. Windshield wiping, one of my favorite things to do. It just gets all of the hip flexor, even a little bit of the glute, the low back, the psoas. So yummy. We'll do this for a few more breaths. It can be slow or fast, whatever works for you. And we can come back to knees up when you're ready. We can find the feet so they're parallel, hip width apart. And then we'll lift the hips up just a little bit and let them hover. Just let them hover. It's kind of like a baby bridge. Having the full breath. And because it's a baby bridge, it's a little bit easier to hold. So we'll stay here a little bit longer. And we'll exhale, come on down, scoop those hips under, scoop them under. And then hug your knees into your chest and rock a little bit from side to side. And then we'll hug our right knee into our chest and extend the left leg long. Okay, from here, we're going to take our right knee, cross it over the body, over to the left, reclining spinal. I like to rest my foot on my inner thigh of my opposite leg. I like to take my left hand to the right thigh to gently brace. But if you have your way, then you have your way. This is usually what feels pretty good to me. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. You could bend that leg underneath you. That's my other favorite way to do it, is when the legs are stacked on top of each other. But you'll feel a nice stretch through our right low back, down into the glute and the hip. we'll stay a few more breaths. See if we can sink and melt a little bit more. And come on back to center. Beautiful. Really slowly. All right, we'll take our feet to the floor, knees up. We'll pick the hips up one time, let them hover for a moment, and then scoop them underneath you, place them back down, hug your left knee into your chest, and extend the right leg long. And then we'll spin over towards the right. Take that left leg with you. You can rest it on the bottom leg or bend both legs. You can take your hand to the thigh and gaze over the other shoulder. And filling the body up with breath. Let yourself get a little bit heavier. Let yourself melt a little bit more. And then we'll come back safely to the center of our mat, feet on the floor, knees up. We'll cover the hips, pick them up, scoop them under, drop them down, and then reach the arms up overhead. Let's hang out in a little bit of a heart opener. So reach those arms up and then bend the elbows until your arms can relax completely on the floor. They might look like field goal posts. You can kind of walk those shoulder blades underneath you, getting them closer together, and that might help create space in the chest, and it might allow your arms to really ground down into the earth, because if there's floating, then we're not quite in it. And we'll stay in this heart opener for a few more breaths. Okay, and then let's just take our arms and gently cross them across our chest, sort of like a little hug. Just letting those arms be heavy. You can either, wrap your arms totally around yourself or kind of like do the mummy. And we'll extend our legs straight when you're ready. Taking a few breaths here. Feel the weight of your arms on your chest. And notice the rise and fall of the breath. And feel your heartbeat. And when you're ready, we'll come into the lovely Shavasana, corpse pose. The arms are out, away from us, pointing away from us, palms open, feet flopping open, legs wide, and just finding total surrender here. Let your arms and legs get increasingly heavier, but still maintain and feel this lightness of the breath and lightness of the body. And more importantly, lightness in the mind. Hopefully not bogged down with heavy thoughts, but working towards clarity. Relax the fingers and the toes. Relax the hands and the feet. The legs and the arms. Relax the hips and the shoulders. The belly and the chest. Your back. Relax your neck and your head. The skin of your face. Your eyes, your mouth, your cheeks, your tongue, your lips, your teeth, your nose, your ears. Relax everything all together, all as one. A very, very short yoga nidra there. Modified yoga nidra. Letting go. Feel the firmness of the floor, letting it support you. And give in for just a few more moments. When you're ready, take some deep breaths and begin to introduce a little bit of movement in the body. Maybe the breath flows a little bit more deeply, taking a big inhale and a big exhale. And we'll come to the sleeping position, feeling the weight and warmth of your body, holding yourself close here, giving yourself a hug. And as you come to sit upright, maybe we bring this peace and grace and serenity with us. Maybe we'll move throughout the rest of our evening with this peace and grace. And who knows, maybe even into tomorrow and the rest of the week. Only hoping. Notice how we feel after practicing. Let's abide in this lovely lift of the heart, this lightness, this floatiness, and also the grounding and rooting through our seat bones and our density. I've been oming, so I'm going to om. You could listen or join in. Bring the hands to heart at prayer. We'll take a breath in. Bowing our heads in gratitude. Namaste.